Hey guys, I wanted to show you the differences between the dual IDF manifolds for the Fiat 124. This is one of the old style. This was what we used to call a PBS manifold. I don't know if these were actually made by PBS. Maybe that's a misnomer. I don't really know. But whoever made them, back in the old days, there was a bridge-mounted part that came down on a bracket with a little ball pivot, and that's where you mounted your throttle linkage. And this is another one of the old style manifolds. These I happen to have, in the junk box. Pulled them out to show you the differences. And I don't have the gasket for the output of the IDF. There's a 40 IDF carburetor. I don't have the gasket to show you, but if you look at the matchup, I don't know if get a little more light on it, might be able to see it. Basically, they match up perfectly. I mean, there's just the tiniest little bit of cleanup there. There's a little flash or whatever, maybe a burr from the machining. Don't really know. But these things are just almost perfect. Right as they came out of the box, you could just bolt them right to a car and they would be okay fine. This one hasn't been machined for the bracket yet. And so I ordered another one. Got ordered from Pierce Manifold, thinking that this is what I was going to get. The good old stuff. Instead, what I got was this. This is what it looked like right out of the box. They basically just hacked away the entire bridge between the number 2 and number 3. They moved the rear carburetor rearward. You can see it's offset. See how these are centered? These are offset to the rear. That's not necessarily such a bad thing on the rear carburetor, because the manifold, here, let me turn this one around. The manifolds have this sort of lazy J turn, presumably for clearance from the brake booster. There's the rear of it. You can see they just kind of hacked it on away. Not a problem for it to be moved back at the rear. It kind of straightens out that turn. Not altogether unhappy with that, but up here in the front, they moved the front carburetors. As you can see on this one, it's centered. They moved the front carburetors or carburetor forward, and that sort of exaggerates that J turn for one thing, and for another, they had to remachine this. I don't know if you can quite see. It's hard to see on the video, I suspect, but you see this is sort of this ovalized hole. It's not a round hole anymore. It's a sort of ovalized hole, and it doesn't really match up with the carburetor. There's a little bit of a lip that hangs out, and in this area here, I don't know if you can see what a deep pocket that is. It's a little hard to see on the video, but they plunged with some sort of a ball cutter or something, and just to give you an idea of the depth, that's my finger. That's how deep that well is. And then there's a sharp ledge here where you see the difference in the color. There's a step in the casting where it steps in. Now, I don't exactly know what that's doing for the airflow. I suspect not too much good. How much difference does it make in terms of performance? Well, I couldn't really say, but boy, that's not exactly confidence inspiring, you know what I mean? And I can't, they sent a linkage along with a kit that I suppose works okay for the linkage. But anyway, so that's the difference in the manifolds. My recommendation, if you can get one of the old manifolds, I like the old ones better. And this one I asked to send back to Pierce. They were kind enough to let me return it on exchange. In fact, they sent me the new manifold before I sent them back the old one, which was very nice of them. They're certainly being helpful. But I asked if I could just have a raw casting, thinking, okay, well, maybe I can move both the carburetors back on the manifold. If you can get away with it, sure, why not? But unfortunately, what they sent me was basically already machined, except that it hadn't had the bridge removed. So it wasn't really what I was hoping for. My advice, if you can find the old ones, use the old ones. If you can't, this is what you get with the new ones. How big of a difference does it make? I'm not going to break out the flow bench and test it, but before I put one of these on the car, I would probably want to clean up some of the little ridges and edges and various problems there. Again, don't know if it makes a big difference. Not thrilled with the way it looks. And you know, if you had the old style linkage, you can't mount it. Anyway, there you have it, guys. That's the old, or rather the new versus the old. See the sort of ovalized horribleness and, you know, whatever, and that's how pretty they used to be. Certainly a much better looking manifold in the old days. How much better or worse as a practical, pragmatic issue after you've already got your air cleaner on there and nobody will ever see it, well, I couldn't really say, but you be your own judge. We'll see you. Bye.